a few years ago that I was kind of deep in thought about what the future for me looked like in the pool industry in terms of what I wanted. Because it went from something that I was supposed to do until the day I die or retire or whatever happens then, to if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to give the rest of my life to this, or give the rest of my work career to this, or give my physical being to this, and just because it's very hard physical labor, if it were up to me, how would I do it, what would I do, and how much of it would be left in me? And so all those things were going through my head, and I started realizing that the number of projects, if I could do what I do for 10 more years, which is what I figured based on just from being able to physically do everything that I do. Maybe it's longer than that, but I used this 10-year framework and I said, okay, in 10 years, how much could I do? And I started looking at the numbers of projects, and I looked at, you know, how the projects are getting bigger. Each year the projects are becoming more expensive, so it's fewer numbers of projects and bigger scale projects. And I, at that point, landed on a number, and I said, that's it. That's what I've got left in my career, as far as I can see. And I'm currently at number 46. So with what we have to finish this year, I'll have after that, I'll have 46 projects left in my career. So I would want you to think about if you could live your life from that perspective, instead of but I got to take more work because I got to have more money, I got to whatever. What would happen if you started to think, if I only had this much left to do, what would be the criteria that would make me decide to do a certain thing? See, most people never get to that. They just take it because there it is. Business school says to take business, and everybody in the business community says get as much as you can get. And I believe in the fact that the pie is ever expanding. Why go get everything and try to get it from somebody else when you can go create your own? And in this particular case, I know what I have, and I know what I have left. So from my perspective, I can look at a project, a potential project, and say, is this going to be one of the 46? Do I want to give up a slot for that? Would I fall in love with the project and the customer enough to say, that's my number 46, or that's my number 45, or that's my number 14, or my number 10? When I made that switch and looked at that, I realized it's the specific project and people that are important, not just doing lots and lots of work. Knowing that, with 46 left, the window's closing. There's projects lining up and people wanting what we do, and when I've limited that, the supply becomes very small and the demand becomes very large. And that's a really good place to be from a creative standpoint, because I know that I can work with creative people. I know that I can work with people that are going to love what I do and understand the organic process that I go through. Not everyone would. 99% of the people that want a swimming pool built would not like that process. But the people that do get this. And those that get this are really glad that they understood exactly how we operate. So the current number right now is 46. That number is going down, and at some point that number will be 0, and I'll be done. So if you're interested, now is probably the time to start talking about it. Even if it's planning it out for a few years, there's not that many of them left.